Hello everyone. Week 5 of the COVID-19 lockdown saw two big developments. First was Franklin Templeton winding up rupees 31,000 crore of debt fund schemes, making it the biggest ever closure of Indian funds. Second was the deal between the social media giant Facebook and Reliance Industries. In other big headlines of the week, Fitch Ratings slashed India's economic growth projections to 0.8% in the current fiscal. The Trade Association of the World's Airlines (IATA) said that coronavirus will impact 29 lakh jobs in the Indian aviation sector and dependent industries. According to World Bank, the remittances to India are likely to drop by 23% from $83 billion to $64 billion this year. The government has put on hold the hike in DA for the year for central government employees and pensioners. They will now continue to receive DA at current rates, and no arrears will be paid for the period from January 1, 2020 to June 30, 2021. Also in this week's news is the central government bringing in an ordinance to end violence against health workers. The new law carries imprisonment for 6 months to 7 years to those found guilty of crimes against health workers. Congress President Sonia Gandhi accused the BJP of spreading the virus of communal prejudice and hatred in the country, asserting that grave damage is being done to social harmony. Sonia Gandhi said it should worry every Indian and her party will have to work hard to repair this damage. Vijay Mallya on Monday lost his appeal in the UK High Court against his extradition. This brings India closer to getting back the liquor tycoon. The government allowed opening of the standalone shops and those in neighborhood and residential complexes from today. However, restrictions continue on shops in the marketplaces and single brand retail and multi-brand retail outlets. The shops will continue to function with only 50% of staff while observing strict social distancing rules. This week saw 115 families residing at the president's estate undergo self-isolation as a preventive measure after a sanitation worker's relative tested positive for coronavirus. Also, the Ministry of Civil Aviation wing at Rajiv Gandhi Bhavan was sealed in Delhi on April 22 after an employee of the ministry who attended office on April 15 tested positive for COVID-19. As of 9 am today, India has reported 24,506 confirmed cases, including 18,668 active cases, 5,062 cured or discharged cases, with 775 casualties. At the start of the week, India had 17,656 confirmed cases and 559 deaths, with over 14,000 active cases and more than 2,800 discharged cases. Now let's go across to my colleague Saloni to find out the news from the Dalal Street this week.
Thank you, Sandesh. It was definitely an action-packed week for the markets, with oil hitting sub-zero levels to rupee scaling all-time lows, ROL and Facebook shaking hands over a deal, and Franklin Templeton triggering a mini crisis among mutual funds. It was a week that few would forget. Starting with oil, US crude futures slipped below the $0 per dollar mark on Monday night. What this means is that sellers were basically paying buyers to take the stuff off their hands. What triggered this was, with the pandemic bringing the economic activity to a standstill, there is so much of unused oil that American companies are running out of room to store it. In a major development for India, Facebook decided to invest 43,500 crore in Jio Platforms, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Reliance Industries. This sent the shares of RIL soaring 15%, and it was also the top Nifty gainer. In the currency market, the rupee hit an all-time low of 76.91 against the US dollar. However, it recovered quite some bit. Yet, the outlook for domestic market remains bleak, and it is likely that domestic currency could stay under pressure for some time. Talking about Franklin Templeton, well, the mutual fund decided to shut 6 of its debt fund schemes and stop any kind of redemption, which triggered a panic among investors that the current crisis could be far worse than anticipated. This panic also spread to AMCs and corporate debt market. AMCs decided to sell top-rated debt securities in the bond market in order to create a cash reserve to meet the redemption pressure over the next few days. Lastly, a look at what happened at Sensex and Nifty. Sensex and Nifty slipped in the red for the week, snapping their 2-week winning streak. Sensex fell 0.82%, while Nifty declined 1.21%. That's all on the market front for this week. Back to you, Sandesh.
Thanks, Saloni. Now let's look at some international news that made headlines this week. US President Donald Trump signed an executive order temporarily suspending immigration into the United States. The executive order paused immigration for 60 days to protect the jobs of Americans laid off due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The US House of Representatives approved a $484 billion coronavirus relief bill. The bill is aimed at funding small businesses and hospitals. WHO on Wednesday warned that the coronavirus crisis will not end anytime soon, as the global death toll surpassed 180,000. The pandemic has sparked not only a health emergency but a global economic rout, with businesses struggling to survive, millions left jobless, and millions facing starvation. The total number of coronavirus cases around the world stands at 26,86,785 with 1,84,681 fatalities. That's it from my side. Stay tuned for latest updates.